Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Singh and today I am going to teach about the Astho payment design method. After watching this video, if you have any doubt, you can contact me and you can also write an email on saurabh.singh@myjanvihar.com. It is from unit number 4 and it is lecture number 25. So come on the learning objective and learning outcome of this lecture. Here you will know about the and you will understand what is the Astho payment design method, and you will also understand and what is the application of different silo foundation. Now on the learning outcome, you will able to learn about the Astho payment design method, and you will be also know about the difference between silo foundation and deep foundation. There are two categories of roadways pavement, as we all know: rigid pavement, flexible pavement. Rigid pavement typically application high volume traffic lanes, freeway to freeway correction, exit drive with the highway traffic. So here is the application of road pavement, and I have prepared one separate video for the pavement design. If you want to know about it, you can go on the playlist and you can check that video. And what is the advantages of the rigid pavement? Here we will see, and we can also say this is the it is disadvantages is based on the application. There should be good durability of your rigid pavement. Long service life should be withstand repeat folding and subsurface water without the deterioration. Come on the first point: Astho pavement design method consideration. First one, it is based on the traffic performance, and it is also based on the pavement performance and road bed soil, material of construction, environment, drainage, reliability, and life cycle cost and shoulder design. So here we will see what is the flexible pavement type typical application. What are the application of pavement design? You will see here. First one, it is done by the traffic lane and auxiliary lane where I am for. We need to also design the pavement for the parking area, frontage road, and shoulders. Here is the disadvantages of the rigid pavement. May lose non-skid surface with the time, need even subgrade with the performance setting, may fault at transverse joints. So these are the disadvantages of the rigid pavement. As you can see here, we cannot make a non-skid surface by the using of rigid pavement, because when we prepare rigid pavement, then surface will be very smooth, and smoothness may be cause of it will reduce the friction between tires and road. Now we will see the advantages of a flexible pavement. Adjust to limited differential settlement, easily repaired, additional thickness added at any time, non-skid properties do not deteriorate, and quieter and smoother. It is quieter and smoother, and tolerance and greater range of temperature will be also advantages of the flexible pavement. And there is also some disadvantages of the flexible pavement, as you can see. Lost some flexibility and cohesion with the time, need resurfacing sooner than PC concrete, not normally chosen where water is expected. As you can see here, pavement is basically designed by two method, and this is two types. First one is flexible pavement and second one is rigid pavement. Okay, one by one we will see what is the use and what is the parameter of flexible pavement and what is the parameter of rigid pavement. First, we will see flexible pavement. As you can see here, the cross section of flexible pavement is given, and as you can see, there is asphalt, concrete, aggregate base course, and these are the part of your flexible pavement. As you can see here, there is subgrade. Subgrade means this is the natural soil which is in the bottom of the pavement, and after that it will there will be aggregate sub base course. This is you can see here. After that, there is also one more aggregate sub base course. There is difference between aggregate sub-base course and aggregate base course. Uh, and in the upper side, there will be asphalt concrete. And as you can see here, that is your how it work. As you can see, it is first we will see here how it is divided into many parts. First one is subgrade, and there is sub base, base, and wearing. Wearing is basically it is made by the asphalt and bitumen, and there is also some function of all these base. As you can see, this is your diagram which is showing load distribution in the flexible pavement. And suppose this is your wheel load, it is acting on your pavement, and if the load of wheel is 150 psi is given, what it will do, it will distribute to load in each layer. And this is the method in the this is the this is the, you can say, this is the working style of a pavement and how it distribute the load in each layer. Now you can see this is the cross section of a rigid pavement, and there in the bottom there will be subgrade which will be existing soil, and sub base course it is optional in the rigid pavement, and it will be also made by the it may be also made by the aggregate, and there is also base course, it is also optional. And this is your surface course which is made of which is made of by the concrete, and this is your surfacing as you can see here. And there is also two joint will be there, one is a longitudinal joint and transverse joint. These are the joint. This will be cast in the form of slab. Okay, means you are casting a slab on the earth. Suppose this will be the shape of a rigid pavement, as you can see in this cross section. This is your rigid pavement cross section. These are the part of your flexible pavement. As you can see here, there is subgrade. Subgrade means this is the natural soil which is in the bottom of the pavement. And after that, there will be aggregate sub-base course. This is, you can see here. After that, there is also one more aggregate sub-base course. There is difference between aggregate sub-base course and aggregate base course. And in the upper side, there will be asphalt concrete. And this is your cross section of rigid pavement, as you can see here. And now we will see the basic components of the concrete pavement here. And this is your also dowel bar is also here. This is the kind of reinforcement which we use during the construction of a rigid pavement. And this is your longitudinal joint. This is your transverse joint. This is your surface texture, surface smoothness, readability, thickness of design, as you can see here. This is your paver, concrete paver, which is making the rigid pavement, as you can see here. This is the this machine is used for the design of rigid pavement. Come on the load distribution in the rigid pavement, and this is your, as you can see here, that is your wheel, and this is your rigid pavement, and load will be distributed like this. And this is will be approach slab, and that will be leave slab. There will be two part in the rigid pavement. Now we will see some comparison between pavements of flexible and rigid. First, we will see the flexible pavement and rigid pavement. Also, we will see here the deep foundation required, multi-layer of construction is also required in the flexible pavement. In rigid pavement, you have to only make a single layer for this rigid pavement road. Energy consumption due to the transportation of material will be happen in the flexible pavement, but here you can see generally last longer. Means you can say this the durability and the lifespan of rigid pavement is much better than flexible pavement. Increasing cost of asphalt due to the high oil price. and may require asphalt topping due to the noise comfort issue. In rigid pavement, sometimes we also provide the asphalt for the smooth surfacing in the road, and it provides the comfort to the vehicle tire. Now we will see heavy vehicle consume less fuel on rigid pavement, as you can see here. If there will be a rigid pavement, fuel consumption will be low because of deflection. And rigid pavement more economical when considering environmental life cycle costing. If you will talk about the durability of rigid pavement will be also good, and it is also like economical. It is also very economical because the lifespan of this payment will be much, like it will be usable for the 100 year. So you can understand, if you will make one flexible payment like this, there you have to also put the cost for the you have to also uh, spend the cost in the repairing of these kind of flexible payment after the rainy season, because in rainy season it will be broken easily, but in rigid pavement it will be long lasting because of it is made by the concrete, and when it will came in the contact of water, then it will be also very strong, it will become strong, it will be not broken. Now we will see a flexible pavement is a structure that maintains intimate contact with and distribute load to the subgrade and depend on the aggregate interlock, particle friction and cohesion for the stability. And there is also one two more definition is given. It is a structure which distribute the traffic loading stress to the soil subgrade at the magnitude that will not shear and distort the soil. That is your flexible pavement. Pavement which reflect deformation of the subgrade and subsequent layer on the surface. Load is transmitted from the grain to grain through contact point of the granular material in compressive way. As you can see, this is your flexible pavement, and this is your also cross section. First one is formation level. After that, there will be sub base, as you can see uh, in your image. There will be sub base, and after that there will be subgrade, and there will be also road base and surfacing. In surfacing, there will be bearing course and base course. Now we will see the flexible pavement, and it is elastic. Three main layer will be there: surfacing, bearing course, base course. These three layer will be there, and road base and sub base supported by the subgrade. As you can see here, this is supported by the subgrade. Now we will see again what how it will be how it will distribute the load in the flexible pavement. As you can see here, that is your load, and there will be like this. A load will be distributed like this, and it will be distributed till the sub base, as you can see here. Now come on the structure of flexible pavement. In order to take maximum advantages of this property, material layer are usually arranged in order to descending load bearing capacity with the highest load bearing capacity material on the top and the lowest load bearing capacity material. Now we will see one by one what is the work and what is the definition of each layer in the flexible pavement. First one is surface course, which is known as also surfacing. This is the top layer and the layer that comes in the contact with the traffic. Base course, this is the layer directly below the surface course and generally consisting of aggregate, either stabilized or unstabilized. Subbase course, this is the layer under the base layer. A subbase is not always needed. Now we will see subgrade course. Uh, this is the, you can say, this is the bottom of the flexible pavement. The subgrade is the material upon which the pavement structure is placed. All those There is a tendency to look at the pavement performance in the term of pavement structure and mix design alone. This subgrade can often be the overriding factor in the pavement performance. And now we will see the surface course. The surface course is the layer in contact with the traffic load and normally contain the highest quality material. It provides characteristics such as friction, smoothness, noise control, rut, and the sowing resistance to the and drainage. So you can understand there is a too much work of a surface course. That's why we need to use the quality material for the making of surface course, and it is also responsible for the smoothness. So you can understand if your road will be not smooth, then you will not get a pleasant ride by your vehicle. Now come on the second base course. The base course is immediate beneath the surface course. It provides additional load distribution and contribute to drainage and frost resistance. Base course are usually constructed out of aggregate. Base course are the most typically constructed from the durable aggregate that will not be damaged by the moisture or frost action. Aggregate can be either stabilized or unstabilized. As you can see, this is your lime rock based course undergoing final grading. This is the image which you can see, uh, which is the under construction of a road pavement. Now we will see the sub-base course. The sub-base course is between the base course and the subgrade. It functions primarily as the structural support, but also can be known for the minimize and instruction of fineness from the subgrade into the pavement structure, improve drainage, minimize the frost action damage, and provide a working platform for the construction. The sub is generally consisting of lower quality material than the base course, but better than the subgrade soil. A sub-base course is not always needed for used. For example, a pavement constructed over a highway quality stiff subgrade may not be needed the additional feature offered by a sub-base course, so it may be omitted for design. Now we will see the subgrade. This is the lowest part of the rigid pavement and flexible pavement. Subgrade be composed of wide range of material. Although now you can see this is the cross section of a rigid pavement, and there in the bottom there will be subgrade which will be existing soil, and sub base course it is optional in the rigid pavement, and it will be also made by the it may be also made by the aggregate, and there is also base course, it is also optional, and this is your surface course which is made of which is made of some are the much better than other. This is subsection discuss a few of the aspects of subgrade material that make them either desirable or undesirable and the typical test used to characterize subgrade. Now this is the photograph of preparation of subgrade preparation, and this is your preparation of subgrade. As you can see, this is prepared by the using of soil, and this is your uh, failure which is happening uh, due to the defect in the subgrade preparation. Now we will see the type of flexible pavement here. First, you can see here that this is your dense graded flexible pavement, which you can see there will be less pores, and this will be densest in the form of pavement. And open grade, this is you can see this is not very good. We cannot say this is a very good quality of road. And third one is gap graded. As you can see, this is your image of gap graded pavement. Now this is the flexible pavement construction. As you can see here, And by the using of this machine, we do the surfacing, which is done by the which is usually done by the mixing of bitumen and aggregate. Now we will see the type of pavement, the type of pavement, flexible pavement, and this is also called conventional components. Now, as we saw in the earlier, subgrade is there, sub base course is there, base course is also here. Now come on the surfacing, there is on the on the upper part of the surfacing there will be seal coat. After that there will be wearing coats, and after that there is a track coat and binder coats and prime coat. Prime coat will be on the bottom of the surfacing. And this is your pavement, and which is made by the composite and flexible pavement. And this is the, you can say this is the combination of flexible and rigid pavement. As you can see here, the part of this subgrade, sub base course and surfacing. Asphalt surface will be on the black top and surface treated. Now we will see the type of pavement which is known as the rigid and flexible. And you can see here, this is the cross section of a rigid pavement. There is also a PCC surface. This is the different to the traditional rigid pavement, where we are using the PCC surface. Now we will see the cross section of a composite pavement, and this is your AC layer, which is made by the asphalt, and PCC surface, which is made by the concrete. And PCC means, we all know PCC means plain cement concrete, that is your base course and that is your subcourse. Now we will see the bituminous layer, how typical load distribute in the flexible pavement. This is your wheel load, and this is your bitumen layer, and this is your, you can say this is your aggregate and soil, and that is your subgrade, and load will be distributed like this. Now we'll see some example of rigid pavement here. Rigid pavement are those which contain sufficient beam strength to be able to bridge over the localized subgrade failure and areas of adequate support. Load is transmitted through beam action of the slab in rigid pavement. Rigid pavement are those which reduce the stress concentration and distribute the reduced stress uniformly to the area under the slab. Rigid pavement does not deform under the stress. Concrete air entrained increase resistance to frost damage and descent salt corrosion. Reinforcement may be bars or mesh. Continuous rigid pavement have heavy reinforcement. Joint used in non-continuous pavement to allow the thermal movement include filler and surface sealant. Rigid pavement laid as the single layer by the concrete paver. And this is your cross section of rigid pavement, as you can see here. And now we will see the basic components of the concrete pavement here. And this is your also dowel bar is also here. This is the kind of reinforcement which we use during the construction of a rigid pavement. And this is your longitudinal joint. This is your transverse joint. This is your surface texture, surface smoothness, reliability, thickness of design, as you can see here. This is your paver, concrete paver, which is making the rigid pavement, as you can see here. This is the this machine is used for the design of rigid pavement. And this is the load distribution in the rigid pavement. As you can see here, there is a broad slab and one more which is known as leaf slab. Because of the relative rigidity, the pavement structure distribute load over a wide area with only one or at most two structure layer. There are other type of surface also, like reinforced, continuously reinforced, etc. And structure of rigid pavement, as you can see here, this is the top layer which consists of PCC slab, and reinforced continuously reinforced slab. Base course, this is the layer directly below the PCC layer and generally consisting of aggregate or stabilized subgrade. Subbase course, this is the layer or layer under the base layer. A subbase is not always needed and therefore may not often be omitted. The surface course is the layer in the contact with the traffic load, is made up of PCC or RCC. It provides characteristics such as friction, smoothness, noise control, drainage. In addition, it serves as a waterproofing layer to the underlying base, subbase, and subgrade. The surface course can be vary in the thickness, but usually between 150 mm and figure shows as 300 mm of surface course. As you can see here, this is your PCC surface and which is made on the rigid pavement on the surface of the rigid pavement. Now we will see the base course of a rigid pavement. The base course is immediate beneath the surface course. It provides additional load distribution, contribute the drainage and frost resistance, uniform support to the pavement, a stable platform for the construction equipment. Base also help and prevent subgrade soil movement due to the slab pumping. Base course are usually constructed out of aggregate base. A simple base course of crushed aggregate has been common option since the early 90s and is still appropriate in the many situations. Stabilized aggregate or soil stabilized agent are used to bind otherwise loose particles to one another, provide the strength and cohesion. Cement treated base course can be built to as much 20 to 25% of the surface course strength. Dense grade, which is known as HMA, in situation where high base stiffness is desired, base course can be constructed using dense grade HMA layer. Permeable HMA, in certain situations where high base stiffness excellent drainage is desired. Base course can be constructed using an open grade HMA. Now you can see here this is your completed CTB with the curing seal, and this is your lean concrete base material which you can see here. It is this material is used for the design of rigid pavement. Now we will see the subbase course. The subbase course is the portion of the pavement structure between the base course and subgrade. It functions primarily as the structural support, but it can be also minimize the instructions of fine from the subgrade into the pavement structure, improve drainage, and minimize frost, and it also minimizes the frost action damage. It also provides the working platform for the construction. A subbase generally consisting of lower quality material than base course, but better than the subgrade soil. Appropriate material are aggregate and high quality structure fill. Now you can see here this is your type of rigid pavement which is used for the design of a rigid pavement, and this is your top view which you can see here. That is your longitudinal joint, this is your tie bar, and this is your typical spacing, and this is your side view of a rigid pavement, and this is the photograph where vehicle is moving on the rigid pavement. And there is also continuously reinforced concrete pavement which is used for the design of which is used for the design of rigid pavement, as you can see here. Now this is the photograph of a rigid pavement construction, how it made of how it construct by the using of concrete. This is your slip form machine which used for the construction of a rigid pavement. Now we will see we have seen what is the comparison of rigid pavement and flexible pavement, and we will see here the load distribution comparison of a rigid pavement and flexible pavement. As you can see here, this is your concrete section, subgrade and subgrade. And suppose this is 300 load, 3000 kg load of a vehicle, and it will be distributed like this, means it will be spread around the subbase course, and it will be penetrate like this, it will be penetrate till the base course. And this is the about the type of payment failure, how payments can be failed. And this is your failure criteria. Flexible payment can be failed: fatigue cracking, rutting, thermal cracking, and rigid payment fatigue cracking, pumping or erosion, and other faulting, spalling joint, and deterioration. As you can see here, this is the deterioration between the flexible pavement and rigid pavement. As you can see here, this is your this is your flexible pavement pressure, and this is your rigid pavement pressure, and this will be the graph of a cycle, life cycle, and the time. How what will be the life cycle of the rigid pavement, as you can see here. And this is the also a comparison between flexible pavement versus rigid pavement. They are in flexible, load distribute wide area, load distribute in wider area. You can see here, bituminous surface is required for the flexible pavement, and concrete surface is only required for the rigid pavement. Load carrying capacity from the load distribution, distributed load over the wider area soil. Thickness and design influenced by the strength of the pavement, and minor variation in the subgrade strength have little influence on the structural capacity. So this was the comparison between the rigid pavement and flexible pavement. Now we will see the highway and airport pavement. What is the difference between airport pavement and highway pavement? This is also very important topic point in the road design, pavement design of a road. And this table is showing different performance for the two case. As you can see here, this is your highway, this is your for airport. Higher of repentance and general total load, lower tire pressure, high tire pressure, higher load repetitions, and gross load, higher thickness. Pumping action of a rigid, and no pumping action is required for the making of airport pavement. Now we will come on the MCQs, which is related to road pavement. As you can see here, this is a very important questions which may be asked in your weekly test, and this question is also may be asked in the government exam. Like if you are sitting for the gate, suppose you are sitting for the SSC JEN exam, then you have to remember these types of question, because these types of question have been asked in the government exam. First question is here: a district road with the bituminous pavement has a horizontal curve of 1000 meter for a design speed of a 75 kilometer per hour. The super elevation. What will be the super elevation for this kind of bituminous pavement? As you can see here, this is the question of flexible pavement. This is not question of rigid pavement. So here is option is given: 1 in 4, 1 in 50, 1 in 60, 1 in 70, and last option is none of these. And here right answer will be 1 of 40, means a district road with a bituminous pavement has horizontal curve of 1000 meter for a design speed for 70 kilometer per hour. The super elevation will be 1 is to 4. Now we will come on the second question. The minimum value of chamber provided for the thin bitumen surface hill road. This is also very important question. Like chamber is the sideway, and this is the sideway of a road. It may be different types in flexible pavement, and it may be different in the rigid pavement. Here is asking the minimum value of chamber provided for thin bituminous surface in hill road, means your road type will be hill here, and there is option 2.2, 2.5, 3.0, 3.5, and this will be the option answer. 2.5 will be your right answer. Means you have to provide the minimum chamber of 2.5% of the bituminous surface road. Means like suppose your like if your road is 10-meter wide, then you have to give the chamber area, you have to leave area for the chamber, it will be like 2.5 meter. So here right answer will be 2.5, and this is a very important question and you need to remember it. Come on, the next question. Design of horizontal and vertical alignment, super elevation, side distance and grades is worst affected by wide of the vehicle, length of the vehicle, height of the vehicle, speed of the vehicle. There is four option is given, and here right answer will be speed of the vehicle. So you can now understand these things will be affected by the super elevation, side distance, and grades, and these things will be affected by the speed of the vehicle. Means there is also one term which is here, which is side distance. Side distance mean it is the distance from it is distance which we can see on the road during the driving. That will be your side distance of a highway. Now come on the next question. Thickness of pavement may be reduced considering by. This is also very important question. Here is asking thickness of pavement may be reduced considerably by compaction of soil, stabilization of soil, drainage of soil, combination of all of the above. Here right answer will be D, combination of all of the above. Means compaction of soil, stabilization of soil, drainage of soil. These all are the responsible in the thickness of the pavement design. Come on the next question. The total length of valley formed by the two gradients, which is -3% and +2% curve between the two tangent points to provide the rate of change of centrifugal acceleration 0.6 meter per second square. For a design speed 100 kilometer is what will be the form of the gradient. Here is asking, option is given 16 meter, 42.3 meter, 84.6 meter, and last option is none of these. Here right answer will be C, which is given here 84.6 meter. Come on, the next question. Next question is about the traffic engineering include. This is very general question for all civil engineering students should be know about it. What is the meaning of traffic engineering? Because after doing the graduation in the civil engineering, student can also choose the field, one particular field, like they can go in the structural field, they can go also in transportation field, and they can also go in the traffic engineering field, like environment engineering field, construction management field. So these are the this is the basic question where it is asking traffic engineering include planning and regulatory measures, design and application of control device, analysis of traffic characteristics and traffic operation, and last option is given here, which is all of the above, and this will be answer. All these things include in the traffic engineering. Like suppose you are going in the field of planning of regulatory measure, design and application of control device, analysis to traffic characteristics, traffic operation. These all things included in the traffic engineering. Now come on the next question. For the movement of vehicle at the intersection of two roads without any interference, the type of grade separator generally preferred to. First one is here delta, trumpet, diamond interchange, and clover leaf. Here right answer will be clover leaf. That will be your right answer. Now come on the next question, which is given here. If the running ruling gradient of any highway is 3%, the gradient provided on the curve of 300-meter radius is, here is option given Here is option given 2%, 2.25%, 2.50%, 2.75%, and 3%. Here right answer will be 2.75%, means if a ruling gradient on highway is 3%, the gradient provided on the curve of meter radius is will be 2.7%. That will be your right answer. Come on the next question, that is your, as per the recommendation of IRC, traffic volume study carried out the rural road 7 days continuously during. This is also very important question, and there is one term which is known, which is given here, which is IRC. Its meaning Indian Road Congress, which recommend all department who construct the road, like there is also national highway, there is also like nahi, national highway authority of India, there is also PWD. There are many agencies who construct the road in rural areas and in the cities area. So they have to do work according to India Road Congress, which provide the regulation, which provide the direction regarding the traffic, regarding the regarding the prevention of accident. These things is provided by the IRC. In this question, it is asking, at the recommendation of IRC, traffic volume study is carried out the rural road for the 7 days continuously during harvesting, lean seasoning, harvesting, and the lean seasoning. None of these. Here, right answer will be your harvesting and lean seasoning. And now we will come on the last question, which is number 10. And this is also very important question. The minimum ratio of radii of two circular curve of compound curve is kept. It is given option A is given 1.25, B is given 1.5, C is given here 1.75, and D is given 2.0. Here right answer will be 1.5. That will be your right answer. And this is also very important question because it is about the circular curve, compound curve. It should be remembered by all these civil engineering students. So now come on the reference. There is one book and there is also one NPTEL link which is given here. If you will watch this NPTEL video, it will also give the very good knowledge of the rope pavement design. And today we saw, as you can see, today we saw the many things which was regarding the flexible payment and subgrade, and there we also saw the types of payment, how we can build these types of payment, and what are the element of these payments. So this lecture is very important. And we also saw what is the types of payment, as you can see here, and how load distributed in the both payment design, like if it will be rigid payment, if it will be flexible payment. And this is your concrete paper. We also uh, saw here how it work and how it used in the construction of rigid pavement. And this was the all about the rigid pavement and flexible pavement. And there is also one more important things. After watching this video, you will understand what is the difference between rigid pavement and flexible pavement, and what is the difference in the what is the different components of rigid pavement and flexible pavement. In this video you will know about it, and you will also understand what is the uses and uses of airport pavement, and what is the uses of rigid pavement, and which pavement is which pavement can bear a more load in the geotechnic, in the pavement. You will also know about this. And this was all about the design of rigid pavement and flexible pavement. And thank you for watching this video.